holders and hodlers. I've been speaking of Shiba and Dogecoin as my my last buys in my crypto portfolio, but also as the buys that I think um, that will still do great returns and listed on Coinbase today. So, great news for Shiba. Shiba is actually up, 20% on that listing. So we're going to look at crypto first, and then we're going to get into our other topics, which is truckers strike. Truckers are saying that they will strike on 11/1. That's the 111 code. Hello, Lee, aka Les Brown. Shalom to you, Wisdom Worldwide. So, what will happen when we have more truckers and striking, and not only truckers striking, but the 65 container ships? That's a record high. Stuck in California. And so we already had that problem of what would truckers ship, right? What would they ship? So let's get right into this. Daycares are shutting down, right? People that have daycares are saying that the children have to be tested. And as a result, a lot of daycares are losing business. I told people to expect trucking business to definitely slow down going into the fall. Yes, a hard winter is coming. So if you're not in a home-based business, or you don't have a way to make money mobily or make money from home or using the internet, I would like to know, what are your backup plans, right? If we are experiencing another economic shutdown, as well as nurses, people in the health field, right, on strike, because they feel like they're getting forced to have to put something in their body that has not been researched. If you all been following Nicki Minaj, for example, her Twitter statement has blown up. Nicki Minaj saying she will not put something in her body that has not had its due diligence of research. Firefighters are striking. Um, Community people and the law enforcement field as well striking, not just truckers, right? The GOAT says, "Thank you, Queen. Thank you so much for tuning in." Right. And then we have, it's just so much to discuss, right? Companies aren't covering. And if you watch my previous live stream, I broke down the number 19 in the word COVID-19. And I broke down 911 and how 9/11, right, is the 20th year anniversary for 9/11, and how that is very in coherence with Exodus 20, chapter 20, verses 9 through 11. So the Bible gives so many codes and predictions, namely through numerology, namely through numbers, right? It always amazes me how people can understand the number system when it comes to money, when it comes to gambling, when it comes to betting, when it comes to stretch offs, placing bets on sports team, right? They understand the number system then, right? Going to the casino, but it's hard for those same people to understand it when it comes to the Bible, which is the creator. You always have the world that perverse and manipulate things that's biblically sound and truth. Hello, Alchemist and Book. Hello to you. Peace to you from Atlanta. Let me say hello real quick to some people coming in. Shalom, peace to you as well, right? You all make sure that you take time right now to get the thumbs up. We have about 140 people in and maybe 10 thumbs up. So I know you all want to come in. And if you're watching on the replay, drop your city and state. If you're in live and you said hello, just take a little time to let me know where you are tuning in from. Hello from Florida, right? Because once this economy opens back up, I definitely want to travel the states and abroad as well, and say hello to you. Hello, Mr. Paul Burns. Hello to you. And hello, everyone, again coming in. So let's get into the topic. I'm at my 5 minute mark, so we're going to go right ahead. Mr. Paul Barnes is from New York. Hello from New York. Um, Hello to you. Ross Peace is in again. Thank you for being in, King. He says, Peace, Queendom. And Tyrone Smith saying, Shalom as well. Family and friends and blessings, Queen. Thank you so much. And praises to Yahweh. Thank you so much, Tyrone, for sending that peace and love and praise as well. We have St. Louis in. Um, and St. Louis, and Tyrone is from Jamaica. I definitely can use a vacation right now in some parts of Jamaica as well. So thank you so much, Tyrone, for tuning in. See, we have family from all parts of the world, right? So the very first thing I'm going to start with is another reason, question mark, according to this article, companies that are not covering the cost, people anymore, right? A hard financial winter is coming, and this is going to be a global financial crisis. This is going to be a global depression, in comparison to 1933. So the COVID-19, again, I talked about 9/11, the 20th year anniversary, and breaking down Exodus 20, verses 9 through 11. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost us over I break down the number four for you all a lot. I may have to break down those numbers again as DVD is coming in. Thank you so much. Thank you for the 9/11 super chat and coherences. Because you know what? Once you give into the number system, you do a reversal of the world's perversion of the numbers. You take something that the world and man meant for negative, right? And you reverse it for a positive, and you unlock your blessings as you give unto what the Bible initially wanted those numbers to be. So over 4 million. 4 is a number biblically of direction and phases. It let us know what changes are ahead and that there will be changes ahead. We have direction winds from the north, the south, the east, and the west, for example, right? By the fourth day, we have 4 elements that were made: land, liquid, the oceans and the seas, life. Seed was now be able to transform into fruit for nutrition for man to eat, even though man had not been made yet. And then we definitely had liquid, land, life, and light, as well. Let me pull up my notes. Liquid, land, life, and light. Light, the sun, the moon, and the stars. We have the 4 watch hours in the 12-hour clock. 4 seasons in a year, right? Winter, spring, summer, fall. North, south, east, and west, the 4 corners of the world. So the number 4 gives you information and details. You remember when we used to say, what's the 411? Right? There are 4 quarters in currency that completes a whole thing, that makes a dollar, that makes one, right? And so when you see in the 4th dimensional world, you see things perfect and complete as they really are, right? And 4 also is a prophetic number of things that will happen in the material world, in the earth realm. So we have 4 million lives according to this article. But until recently, the COVID-19 didn't financially cost insured people in the United States much. The United States government mandated that private insurers make COVID-19 testing free of charge, right? provided that it was medical necessity or medical necessity. And when the vaccines became available, they required that they be administered at no out-of-pocket cost, right? So whether you were insured or not. However, there were no government mandates requiring health insurance to cover costs like hospital bills or the treatment for primary care doctors. But many of the major insurance companies waived those fees anyway. But according to a new report, right, from Peterson Center on Healthcare, approximately 88% of people insured will have out-of-pocket expenses waived for the first year of the pandemic. Now, I can really get into the number 88, but let me continue to go on. So, if they were hospitalized for COVID, but that time period is coming to an end, people, a hard financial winter is coming. The report finds that 72% of the largest insurers of the United States are no longer waiving out-of-pocket fees for COVID-19, with another 10% of insurers planning to phase out waivers by the end of October. Remember, I told you October represents the number 8. The number 8 is the breaking down of an old to begin a new. We have the octopus, the octagon. Um, James says Biden had already said a dark winter, right? And so whether he says it or not, I'm telling you, and many other economic persons that study economics, right, are telling you that a hard financial winter is coming as well. So with effective, they're saying that the vaccines are now effective. I will deter from expounding my beliefs on that. But if you've been following me, you already know my beliefs. And I think everybody has the right to decide what they want, right, in their bodies. I'll just say it that way. Everybody has the right. And whatever works for you, then then I hope all is well, right? But now there is no coincidence that major health insurers have started phasing out fee waivers in April. And now that they're waiving these things out, many people that is not going to be free. Now many people are going to have the option of, okay, what if I do quit my job or I decide to retire? Will the government Medicaid pick up for this? Right? I'm telling you, people, a hard financial winter is coming and everything is strategically planned. This was planned years ago. So now you have people who are on the fence who maybe didn't get the jab because it wasn't convenient, there was an opportunity, and insurance coverage and treatment needs vary. So now you have hospitals that's charging. Hospitals have become very wealthy doing this, right? Many people or many businessmen or businesswomen or companies or corporations that were in banks are now into hospitals. This has become very, very financially lucrative for Moderna and Pfizer, even Johnson and Johnson. You know, Johnson and Johnson just came off a lawsuit for cancer, and they came in and became lucrative as well. And so now just an in-network cost for an insured patient is about $38,221, right? And so calculate how much you will pay out of pocket, your deductible copays and other fees if you're diagnosed with this. And many people are getting diagnosed with this because you don't hear much about flu and pneumonia. So if you get diagnosed with COVID, your medical expenses are about $73,000 on average, right? So, you know, financially and for similar treatment, if people just had other diagnoses, as we're approaching flu season, for example, if it was something like the flu and things of that nature, it would not be as costly. But many are not getting those diagnoses. Everything right now seems to be centered around COVID, right? COVID-19. So, with that being said, Sand says, imagine. With that being said, let's go into 65 container ships stuck at California as well. 6 plus 5 is 11. 11 is the number of warning, right? 11 is the number of warning. For example, 9/11, it was American Airlines ship. No, I mean ship. American Airlines plane number 11 that was the first to crash. And then the second plane, and the first plane had exactly 92 passengers. 9 plus 2 is 11, right? The second plane was number 77. 7 is divine transition for the breaking down of an old system to rebuild a new. So, and then on plane 77, there were exactly, look at the number you see on the screen, 65 people on that plane as well, right? Exactly 65 people on that plane as well. And so American Airlines, this 9/11 crash. So now we have 65 container ships. 6 plus 5 is 11. Waiting on California. And what does it mean, Queen? Why is this important? Right? As Travis give the 1188 super chat. So I probably will break down numbers more in depth a little bit in this live stream, more than what I had planned, because of the people that's giving this super chat and just receive. Thank you, Marika, who's on live stream for the 1111 Cash App as well, $11.11. So the number of container ships at anchor or drifting in the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach have now blown through previous records and is rising by the day. There was an all-time high of 65 container ships in San Pedro Bay on Thursday, according to Marine Exchange of Southern California. Of those, a record of 23 were forced to drift because they were full, right? And so while these container ships, right, are stuck at bay, that means a lot of what we get shipped from countries such as Asia and China, uh, we have low velocity, and we already see things like Walmart shelves getting emptier and emptier and limited, right? And this article goes on to say limits on land. I told you about the number 4, land creation. Number 4 is prophetic of what will happen in the material world. But as Travis gave the 888, I'm going to see if you see this, Travis. Let me enlarge it. I want you all to look at the numbers, right? I want you all to look at the numbers. Hello, Gwen. Come in with the $11 super chat. Thank you all so much for supporting the knowledge and information in the channel. Breaking down numbers and numerology is can be very draining at times. Not easy, right? Because there's not many people that can do this, and there's no one that I know do this that connects it to the Bible but me. And that's not to be braggadocious or anything. I'm looking for people to connect with, that can connect gematria, numerology to the Bible, right? And so this article goes on to say how constrained is the flow, right? How constrained is the flow? The flow. I told you all about the waters, Genesis 1. God moved upon the waters, the currency. Ecclesiastes chapter 11 said, cast your bread upon the waters. Waters represents a currency flow, right? And so how constrained is the flow as we have these ships stuck? It is now 6 days. 6. I'm going to talk about the number 6 as well. I talked about 6G Wi-Fi already and 666. And Revelations being the number of man. On the sixth day, God created man, and he said the sixth day is very good. But again, the world system takes things that's very good in the Bible, like the number six, and they perverse it, right? And so now you see the 11 days, that's the 11-7 code, 11.7 days, 11.7 days, 11.7 days. You see that? So not far below the peak of 13.4 is 8.5 days, nearing an all-time high. That's the double 88. Double 88. This article right here is just full of numerology and biblical numbers codes, right? And the all-time high was 92 on Thursday. 9 plus 2 is 11. More than 5 times, right? 5 is the number of grace. Grace means to reveal hidden truths, right? Grace and truth from John chapter 1, 1:14, right? But the ones that remain remarkably consistent, according to this scripture, I mean, this says scripture, according to this article, is a type band of 27 to 31 a day. And so, in short, what all this means is these container ships, they're shipping out of Asia, much of what we have in America. And you see the date as well, August the 11th, people. Extra loaders, the ships were not a part of the scheduled service. And this is slowing down the ships, slowing down what we have in America, our imports that we so highly depend on, right? They stock our shelves, they give us our groceries, they give us our items, but mainly the groceries that we have, the items that we have. And you can see the results right now at Walmart. And now in my local area, or where I usually shop and do groceries, right? They started a long time ago. Making the grocery aisles thinner, right? So it can appear. When I say a long time ago, I mean earlier this year. So it can appear that the shelves were stocked. They made them very thin. You don't have much space anymore, and that was in order to create a to the untrained eye a concept that we are fully stocked, so people wouldn't go into a panic. Now that's at my local Kroger. If you shop at Kroger in your state and your prospective cities, right, for you that may or may not be the case, but I know that's the case in my local Kroger. Again, that's for the trained eye. So if you are in business, if you are definitely have a job, right? Have a job and may not believe in the job, but just know that jobs anyway are shifting from people to machines to robots to artificial intelligence to technology, right? This is just a small clip right now of Newark. This was, let me see, September the 8th, right? September the 8th. And then I'm going to break down the biblical numerology. Hello, Coach Price. Gwen says, yep, she stopped by Kroger's this morning before going to work and everything. Yeah, everything is smaller. They've gotten everything smaller so that people won't just panic, but they can only mask that for so long, right? So you have the Newark firefighters and police protest against the jab mandate.
Against COVID-19, and any city employee that refuses shall be disciplined up to and including termination.
If we allow that to happen, what happens tomorrow? what do they look to take away tomorrow? This is all done by the stroke of a pen inside City Hall, and they just think it's good to go, and that it shouldn't be that way.
That's why firefighters, police, and their supporters flooded the streets and steps outside City Hall, demanding the mayor put an end to the mandate.
They have a right to protect themselves, and everyone has the right to decide what pharmaceutical product may or may not be injected into their body.
Mayor Baraka addressing the pushback in a recent op-ed, arguing it would be irresponsible not to mandate vaccines, writing, quote, "Of all people, the union leaders whose rank and file members are hired and sworn to protect the public should know this better than anybody. They lost 9 members to the disease."
We are not anti-vaxxers. I'm vaccinated. I encourage everyone to get vaccinated. But I know that people have religious, medical, and personal choice.
Police and firefighters say they understand the need to keep everyone safe, but they believe the mayor's gone too far, and they just want the chance to be able to come to the table and have their voices heard.
But if we got 300 cops that are not vaccinated, I hope the mayor is making contingency plans with the state police, because they're going to have to come in here to handle the jobs, the regular calls for service that go on every single day in this city, because the city won't be able to function if that's what we're going to do.
We do want the ability to sit down and negotiate the impact of the policy that's been implemented, and that's simply all we're asking for.
This is not the first time the issue is coming to head in the state. Police officers in Wayne challenged the vaccination mandate there, but a state arbiter eventually sided with the town, requiring all officers to be vaccinated as long as both sides were able to negotiate the terms.
I don't think they're going to prevail on the argument that they get to bargain about whether or not.
So that's in Newark. That's just Newark. It says federal workers are standing up as well. Exactly. Hello. Someone says shrinkflation. Expound on that. So we have nurses. We have in New York, right? Hospital workers are standing up, right? And now they're not delivering babies. So this is a nationwide. And truckers, let me show you this clip of an interview with truckers who are saying that, well, let me just let you watch it. Let me find that. Truckers speak up about striking as well. Truckers speak up about striking as well. So people, 65 container ships stuck at bay in California. Some people are still in denial. That's fine. Whether you're in denial or not, I would definitely highly suggest that you plan. Crypto is mooning. I don't think we looked at crypto. Crypto is mooning. And right now, crypto is usually the only thing, even with its volatile, being very vital. Volatile. That's giving a great return on your cash, in addition to home-based business, right? Because of all these people striking, and people are going to be in a situation again, right, that they will be at home, right? And so if you're going to be at home with your children and grocery prices are going to increase, we're going to see hyperinflation, another high unemployment. This is engineered. Again, Shiba Inu, for those sheep holders, listed on Coinbase today. We saw a 34% gain in one day on SHIB, right? Great news for Shiba. Some people may be cashing out. Some people still may be hodling because they think there are higher heights to go. And then we had Cosmos. Let me see, can I find Cosmos on here? I can't find, oh, here it is. As you see, the atom, that comes from science, but also from the word atom, atum, in the Bible. Adam, I told my Patreon members and my people that follow me religiously, right, to make sure that you have these cryptocurrencies that are named after our earth and things within the earth realm, and cosmos and atom and a Tom are definitely one, right? So that's up 13%. This has been doing well the last few days as well. Cosmos or Tom has. And then you have other coins like Algo. You have Elron with small gains. Um, Algo doing well, 7-7. That's a 778 code. As well, Bitcoin is remaining stable, still at 47K. Ethereum will probably soon break through and reach that 40K. ADA still have bigger gains to get. We got XRP, the chosen one, at $1.09. And we have Avalanche at 11%. That's the 1111 code for that. 1111. So, I definitely have that in my portfolio as it just went to 11.7. I can deal with 7.2, which means, and it has the 777 code, 3 sevens. So the way that I look at cryptocurrency is differently than probably some, right? Than probably some. And let's look at the truckers, a small clip on that. Truckers striking.
Start, tell me, you can say your name if you want to or not. Trey, and what area are you from?
Southern Arkansas, Texarkana.
But Texarkana, real close to Texas line.
That's where we're based out of. I'm from Louisiana.
Oh, okay. So what were you going to say about Tyson and what's going on?
Tyson is mandating their drivers. That's what I heard.
Okay.
November 1st.
Okay.
Everyone has to be vaccinated.
So what?
Of all the drivers I've talked to, they're either doing, like you said, taking a retirement,
or they're quitting,
or going somewhere else,
or trying to find something different to do.
Oh yeah, you hear about demand people wanting to strike and all this kind of stuff. I've been hearing about that since because they call their own shots.
Right, they can just park it and walk.
Like I said, if you get the top 5 drivers or five companies, FedEx, UPS, Expo, Swift,
it's going to make an impact across this country.
The three main brokers.
So he said FedEx, Swift, UPS, the top 5 drivers, right? The brokers.
Well, at UPS, I just interviewed him this morning, and he said that he's going to take his retirement and leave.
Big companies would be almost impossible to do it with the company.
Right.
But owner operators.
So
they might be able to make an effect.
Well, there's already a supply. Yeah, there's already a supply issue going on. You were just in Wally World. Yeah. Is there an issue here? And
I've never seen shells like in Walmart ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
And it's happening everywhere. I was just in Springfield yesterday.
Idaho.
Oh, Idaho.
Oh, yeah.
Bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and see, people think that's a lie. Not potato-wise, but water, vegetables, soup. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking out your time. You can check it out. It's Off the Wall Prepper, and it's on YouTube. And I teach people how to prep on the cheap. But
I'll check it out.
Yeah, check it out, man. But also, I'm teaching people how to prepare, like right now, usually there's like 0 to 1 cargo ship out in Long Beach. Oh, yeah. There's 33 today. There was 44 last week. And that's another supply issue because that stuff is not getting moved.
Look at New Orleans. That's where I normally deliver. Because New Orleans is shut down,
I'm
up here.
Oh.
I normally just go back and forth to the port. There's nothing. We're not even scheduled to even start thinking about showing up until the 20th.
So you're saying there's nothing in the port to pick up?
Well, they sent all the ships out because of the hurricane.
Right.
It was already
a mess. And it's getting messier by the day. And then with Potato Joe coming in and telling us what we have to do.
Oh.
Last time I looked, we were in America.
Uncle Joe, he's got our best interest.
Yeah, I bet you're being a little sarcastic there, but I appreciate your time. Be safe out on the road, and thanks for taking out your time to talk to me.
Yeah.
All right.
And unfortunately, we still have some people in denial in La La Land. We still have some people in denial of La La Land. I do believe, however, a lot of lawsuits will become of this. A lot of lawsuits, but I believe those lawsuits will take time. It won't be, instantaneously. And what will people do if they refuse to get the jab? As you have GOP prosecutors threatening lawsuits over the mandates. So 12 is the number of government. So we have 24, right? 2 dozen attorneys general at the White House, the legal action for his, that's the one, and zero is not a number in gematria. So 100 million Americans, 100 million people. The number 111 also means energy, frequency, vibration. 11. It means what people do you vibrate with in life? What people are you connecting with? Such as master numbers 11 and 33, right? On the vibrational level. And they're saying the plan is counterproductive and disastrous, right? And the GOP opposition, a new federal mandate for private sectors, healthcare workers, federal contractors, and even companies and employees with people over 100 people, right? With people over 100 people, right? And so the OSHA rule cover 2/3 will last. Here's the number 6 again, the number of man. The number of man, 6, right? 6 months. And they, if employees that don't comply, could face penalties up to $13,600 per violation. This takes effect in 29 states where OSHA has jurisdiction, right? And so a lot of people are having to choose between what they're putting in their bodies, right, and income or a job. And this is why I personally started teaching this. I converted over from credit and started teaching home-based business and investing last year, because I knew that this is where we would be this time this year. And so this is the thing. This is where the home-based business come in. A lot of people don't have the cash flow that they need because people, this is not going to be a 2008 recession. I'm thinking that I'm predicting that this problem is going to last well into 2027. This is going to make, as Dan Pena says, this is going to make 2008 look like a flesh wound, a Band-Aid cut. This is what we read about in 1933, as we had the double 33, Great Depression, and you know about the number 33. That's the number of Christ's death, right? 3 also is the number of warning. The 33rd time Noah's name, Noah was used to build the ark to save 8 people. 8. 8 again is the breaking down of an old to build a new. Noah's name is mentioned exactly 33 times in the Bible. And God set the rainbow or the bow in the cloud as a promise to not to destroy the entire world again with the flood. But we see areas like Louisiana and New York and areas of Houston that are flooding now. And this was in Genesis 9, right? Chapter 12 through 16. And then 33 is a representation of to remember, or Noah is connected with certain promises of God. And I love 33 because 3 times is 3 times 11. It also means judgment. Judgment is coming. That's where we have 9/11. And so the 6th day The sixth day, I have this book, How to Prosper in Hard Times by Napoleon Hill. The number of man, right? The number of man. Adam, you're so welcome. You're so welcome, Adam. Yes, that is. It's still a great investment, Algo, in my opinion, right? I'm not a financial advisor. Don't give financial advice, right? But I'm going to read the sixth remedy from this book, How to Prosper in Hard Times. And it says, ensure a future income, right? Prepare for a suitable income in the days to come. Because this is the thing, many people will have to sell their crypto quicker than what they are expecting because they're not ensuring future income. And they're going to be people who decide to take the jab, and those who don't, who still are going to lose jobs, right? They're still going to lose jobs. And so make preparation now for you and your family. Um, According to this book, the lesson is to instruct you in providing a full purse. A full purse, I say pockets. You know, my website says 4 pockets full, right? A full purse. Let me pull up my website. When the time has come for you to make less than you're able to earn, right? Make sure that you have a full purse to prepare for the time to come, how to prosper in hard times when there is less than when you are able to earn. I mean, so the sixth rule of this is you should plan for investings and provisions that may endure you for many years. You need way more than $10,000, $12,000, $500, $1,000 in crypto right now. And you must have diverse ways to secure your future, right? According to, again, How to Prosper in Hard Times, right? If you choose wisely, the usefulness and value in the future, they are permanent in their value, in their earnings, and their sale will provide well for its purpose. So get into investments, right? It also encouraged about silver. Increase your 2 pieces of silver each week. The money lender would then owe him 4,000 of silver, right? So this book is really written on a King James style version. And no matter how prosperous you are in business or investments, right? Always ensure or that you have treasure into the kingdom economy. I got to read that one again. No matter how prosperous you are in business or your investments, always ensure that you are also profitable in kingdom economy. Because we live in our own day and not in the days which are to come. You must have a plan, and so there can be great blessings to you and to many men. Wow. How to prosper in hard times. How to prosper in hard times. So Psalms 88, as you all gave the 1188 as well. And this is what I tell people. It is all designed, right, to shrink or cut out the middle class and the small business people. And so people get so tunnel vision about cryptocurrency that they don't look at the end game of it or protecting that cryptocurrency, that they're not going to get highly taxed. Because the first people, if you all remember the Hustables and Dr. Hustables and the Cosby Show, as he was making this lesson or teaching this lesson to his son on that show, Theo, is that the government comes for everyday people first. Theo said, listen, I just want to be an everyday person, have an everyday job. You know, I can drive a motorcycle. I can eat peanut butter sandwiches or whatever sandwiches, right? And he said, well, that's who the government comes for first. And so when people are investors and they don't have a financial plan from their taxation, from taxes, right? I listened to Jeremiah Babe today, and he talked about how all the taxes in California, that people are fleeing to states like Texas and Florida just because they are tax free, just because they are state tax free. Let me break down. I can't even see all the comments. Let me break down what the average person have taken out of their paycheck, right? The average person, first they have federal taxes, right? First they have federal taxes. Federal taxes get paid first. See, you see something on your paycheck that's called deductions or your check stub, right? That says deductions. But what you don't know is how to get business tax deductions. You only know how to get deductions taken out of a check or a 1099, whether it's a W-2 or 1099. So you get federal out, and then you get state. If you're not in states like Florida and Texas, you get state taxes out. And then FICA comes. That's three. FICA comes next. And then your retirement. Listen, a 401k or a pension is not a great tax deferred retirement plan. It's just not, because inflation averaged about 3% a year. What is inflation? Well, it's the high increase of your cost of living. So now you have FICA, then you have retirement, and then many people have accidental insurance coming out. Then they have cancer insurance, and then they have life insurance through the employee coming out, and then they have medical insurance and dental insurance, and then they have this not even including if they have like a Blue Cross or Blue Shield. And then some people might have an additional group term insurance. And so your gross income really looks gross, and then what you get in the net looks worse than gross. And the same thing people are going to see in crypto, because when you transfer those crypto gains back into your banking account, you're going to get a 1099 at the end of the year to get taxed on it. As a matter of fact, Robinhood is already asking for a current tax information when you log into your Robinhood account. And so I don't want people to be so big on these cryptos, right? When we have people that's, for example, that's at 50, that has a $50,000 salary in the home-based business, but saving about $1,000 a month. And $50,000 is too low of an income to make it in America and be stress-free, financially stress-free at that. You need definitely to be in the upper middle class. When I say upper middle class, at least 200K, 150K, 200K, 250K or higher, just to be somewhat financially stress-free. But I know people that were at a $250,000 annual income, and were paying about 20K in taxes just because they don't have the financial education of the tax laws. So when you're in this side, this is Robert Kiyosaki. I told you number 4 represents the material things in the earth realm and material world, right? 4 represents direction and information as well. He says it's 4 areas that you can earn money in. And so if you're in the S, you're at tax at 40 to 60%. That means you're a specialist. You're a 1099 in some cases. You're a doctor, a lawyer. You're a solo. You're a sole proprietor, small business. But he said most people max out at a salary or income of $500,000. But if you're a doctor, a lawyer, a small business owner, not only do you have to pay taxes, but you have to pay taxes to your employees too, at about 7.2%, I believe, or 7.5 is one of them, right? And so taxes is the biggest stealer of wealth. And so what you're going to have people, 90% people earn money as an employee or specialist. And you're going to have regular everyday employees or small business people investing in crypto. And then it's going to be time to pay the piper. The Grim Reaper is going to come, which is the government, and says, I want my 30, 40%. And people they're not prepared and they're not planning for it. And so if you got a depression that's looking to last until 2025, maybe 2027, 30 and 40% off your gains is a big price to pay when you could have just invested $228 to protect your taxes on that crypto. Right? Someone says, just imagine people in third world who will never get to see the higher things in this world. Well, guess what? The United States is about to look like a third world country as well in the next upcoming weeks. You already have some areas in the United States that look third world. Psalms 88, the double 88 and 12 says, are your wonders known in the place of darkness? Are your righteous deed in the land of righteousness, or the land of forgiveness? Double 88. The double 88 again is the meaning of the breaking down of the old to build anew. And it's also, right, judgment and warning coming. But it also encouraged people to remain faithful and diligent. Psalms 88, 1-3. O God of my salvation, I have cried day and night. Let my prayer come before you. Hear my troubles. My soul is full of troubles, and my life near the grave. That's Psalms 88, 1-3. So it is a reminder to stay faithful, to reverence the Lord, right? And also, I talked about 9/11. There are also certain things when I say to you all to remain faithful and understand kingdom economics during these times, right? That God speaks, right, through prophets at many times in many ways. And so many people may not understand why I tell people that it is always better to give into God's economy and to God's number systems than to try to have faith in his world systems. So Hebrews 1:1 says, in the past, God spoke to our ancestors through prophets and many times in various ways. So God speaks to you at many times in various ways. You don't take heed to listen. Again, number 12 is the number of government. The home-based business is exactly $228 to invest an investment, and that's even a tax write-off. And so God and his 12 disciples is the representation of government. You have to have power and authority, as the number 12 means as well, over government. It is a perfect government foundation, right? A perfect government foundation, power and authority. In Revelation chapter 7, I said 7 is divine transition. There were 12,000 people from each tribe of Israel that represent 144,000. A set of 144,000 is 12 times 12,000, right? So it's taking things from the earth in order to serve God, but it's also power and authority against man-made government perverse rules and regulations. In Revelations chapter 12, the church wears a crown containing 12 stars, again, power and authority. And if you don't have a power and authority set up against this government, you're going to be poor just as fast as you became rich. As fast as your crypto gains came, they're going to leave just as fast through the government because you don't have any system set up against the government and against your taxes. So faith without works, as Mars Bar says, absolutely remain in faith and prepare for the worst. Faith without works are dead. Faith without actions, corresponding action, is dead. Beautiful Vibe says, sad how people on unemployment income didn't even know they had to pay taxes on that. So much people. Now, I did hear at one point that they were dismissing that and they were giving that tax back to people. I'm not sure because I never got the unemployment. So let me know, was that accurate and true? I did hear, right, that they were giving people some tax back from that. You're talking about a flood in 2046. We're not in 2046. Oh, you're saying the Great Flood 2046. Okay. I'm not familiar with that flood, right? I'm not familiar with that flood. So let's get on 9/11. In the United States, I told you all about 9/11, 2001, American Airlines plane number 11 had 92 passengers, equal 11. The second plane was number 77, had 65 passengers, that equal 11, right? And so 9/11 is also known as an emergency call, right? But there's a rich symbolism to 9/11. I've read, again, this is, and I'm still doing my research and due diligence on this, but I've read today, and I'm going to share this with you, that Jesus' ministry, and this is what people are giving into, is to take something that was meant to be evil, right, and give into it to make it for your good. God says all things, right, work to the good or for the good of them that love the Lord and called according to his purpose. And so, let me see. 9/11, the meaning of 9/11. Let me share the screen. In 26 AD, again, October is the breaking down of old, the number 8. The number 8 is the infinity sign, right, upside down. So in 26 AD, after the Lord turned 30, the acceptable year for a priest to enter into God's service. This is according to Numbers 4 and 3 and 4, 4. You see the double 4 and 7 in code right there. Numbers 4, chapter 4 and 47. He was baptized by John the Baptist. There's Luke 3 and 23. 3 and 23 equals 8. 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 2 is 8. Right? His actual ministry, however, according to this article, did not begin until September 11, 9/11 of the same year, which is the Day of Atonement. It is the same day that the Lord began his 40-day fast, right? Jesus fasted for 40 days. And I know this may small, so I'm going to read that to you all. The number 4, right? He began his 40-day fast. to start, and the start of Satan, the devil's 40 days of testing and tempting him began in the wilderness. So I enlarged that so maybe you all can see that a little better. Let me try to make it a little bit larger. Okay, I think this is good as I can get it, right? And so again, Jesus' ministry did not begin until September 11, 9/11 the same year. The Day of Atonement, which 2 plus 6 is 8. The breaking down of old to begin anew. 26 AD was an extra special for this reason. It was the start of the Jubilee year. This year will be the start, October, of a Jubilee year. According to Leviticus 25 and 27, every 7 years we have been through a recession, but this one will be a Jubilee year because it marks the 77th anniversary of the Bretton Woods Agreement, which began in 1944. We have the double four. So Jubilee is announced every 50th year, where debts are paid, slaves are allowed, or workers of the debt who they were enslaved to, were allowed to turn to their foreign land. That's why you have a lot of restitutions coming now to people in the Black and brown community as well. You're going to see credit cards debts erased and eradicated. But this is the thing. Some people will have to file some Chapter 10 bankruptcy to get debts eradicated. And if they cannot afford to pay for the Chapter 10, right, which I think it will be affordable, but you still will have to make monthly payments. So it won't be a scenario where you're just going to get free vehicles with no note or a free house with no note. Many people will have to be renters in America as a result. Debt-free also means, in most cases, asset-free, right? Debt-free also means asset-free. So a lot of people will be debt-free, but they're going to lose their homes, their houses, maybe their vehicles in some cases. So Jesus himself confirmed his ministry began on 9/11. Did you all know this? When Jubilee year stated. And his first message of Luke 4:18 through 19. And this is exactly where I've talked about COVID-19. Jesus also quoted from Isaiah 61, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me, right, to bind up the brokenhearted. And this is not talking about poor in spirit. This is talking about poor in assets, a broke bank account. He sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, because this was talking about poor in spirit. This is talking about emotional hurt and poor now. He could have left the brokenhearted out of it to proclaim liberty to captives. People are enslaved to debt right now, right? The opening of the prison to those who are bound. And I talk about the number 4. And let me show you the 4 things. As I said, people are slave. They don't know they're slave to their job. They're slave to the banks. They're slave to the government and taxes. They are slaves, just like in biblical times, right? That have to work only to live partial the lifestyle that they want to live. They don't live the lifestyle that they want to live. See, it was said that rich people, right? Rich people take trips. Poor people can only afford vacations. So let me see if I can pull this up for you. One second. The 4 things I talked about, the number 4. that's keeping people enslaved in poverty, even people that's investing, right? Even people that's seeing crypto because they're going to get taxed highly, right? Because of no financial education. So you have these 4 roadblocks that people are not preparing for, or people don't have the financial education for, or people that's not, that don't understand kingdom economy or economics as well, right? They have big businesses, taxes, debt. People without a financial education do not use debt the correct way. They use debt to buy liabilities and not assets, right? Big businesses. What is big businesses? Big businesses plan every month how they're going to take your money, how they're going to advertise to you. January is New Year's. February is Valentine's Day. April, spring break. They advertise to you, right? With March is spring break. Then you have St. Patty Day that comes along those time as well. Then you have May, graduation comes. Then you have Mother's Day and Father's Day. Father's Day is in June. And then they even added Juneteenth. Then in July, you have the 4th of July. You know, for the June and July is beer and barbecue. Then in August, you have back to school shopping time. September is Labor Day. People spend and barbecue again or go to events on Labor Day and spend money. And then October is Halloween, a very expensive celebrated day. November is Thanksgiving. People go out and buy food and travel to see family. And then December is Christmas, and they keep the rotation and cycle continuous all over again. That's big business. And then your second roadblock is taxes. What people with a financial education don't understand, taxes is your biggest expense. I just listed FICA taxes, federal taxes, state taxes that come out of paychecks. Then you have retail taxes. Then you have Avalon taxes that come out, right? And then you even have taxes of the states of Texas and at the tolls that you pass through, even though you have toll taxes. And then you have inflation, the cost of living taxes, your increased pricing on daycare and gas and groceries. And then because big business and taxes take 3/3 of your paycheck, people have no choice but to get in debt. But they don't get this in debt to invest. They get in debt to buy liabilities. They get in debt to finance a home, a mortgage. Mortgage means mortician, means a death sentence. And they keep that house debt for 30 years. Or that vehicle debt. They overpay. And then you have inflation, the last one, the silent income killer that people don't know about. That's the increased price of your everyday cost of living. As I said, daycare, right? And then you even have fees. Yes, and then Sand says we have to add in birthdays and anniversaries. Big businesses have to add in birthdays and anniversaries. And this is how the home-based business help combat that. Because you get 475 tax deductions. And so what the world do is takes numbers and they pervert it and they get people to gamble and to go to the casino, right? And not understand God's system. They talk against God's system, but they give into man's system. And I've even had people tell me that they gave $111 or $11.11. They won $1,000 stretch off, but that's not what I would prefer, because as easy as that money goes, right, comes as easy as it goes. So God's proclaimed year, they're saying it's 26 AD, Guinness Ministry on 9/11 to set the oppressed free. This is the year of Jubilee. This is the greatest wealth transfer that this generation will ever experience, but it also will be the greatest depression that some people will ever experience. The question is, which side will you be on? Right? So congratulations to those cryptos gains. You need more cash flow. Do not have assets without cash flow. Do not have assets, do not cash flow. Farmers are losing their land because the land is asset, but they don't have cash flow because they're not selling crops right now. So they're losing their land. Many people saying I'm investing in silver and gold, and there's nothing wrong with that. Silver and gold will be used to reset the currency system. However, it doesn't cash flow those capital gains. See, for the rich and wealthy, for millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires alike, silver and gold protect their money. They convert their cash into it so they don't lose value. They're not succumb to inflation. But for the upper middle class, silver and gold is an investment. For the rich and wealthy, it's insurance. See, the upper middle class will usually lose their assets when silver and gold prices go higher, and they will cash it in and convert it back into a lesser system, which will be cash or the Fed coin. They can't hold or build generational wealth because they lack cash flow. So for them, silver and gold is a capital gains investment, unfortunately. The power of cash flow, people. Cash flow forever. And cash flow is not just money flowing to you. It also represents money, right, flowing through you and money flowing back to you after you have spent it out. At minimal, the very minimal amount of cash flow that you should have or sources of income, right, should be at minimum, 4. The number of investments you should have should be 7 to 8. Why do I get these numbers? Because in the Bible, Genesis 2, it talks about the Garden of Eden that had 4, right? A river flowing, a river water. The Garden of Eden flowed from Eden. They were separated into 4 headquarters. You should at least have 4 flows of income flowing. Money should flow through you. Money should flow to you. And money should flow back to you. That means money that you spent out. Money that you spent out. And then, right, through your investments, cash flowing investments such as a home-based business. Right? John D. Rockefeller said it like this: I would rather earn 1% off 100 people's efforts than 100% off of my own. Meaning that I would never do anything solo. I will always do things within a network. So it talks about these 4 flows, right? At least 4 flows. And then you should have 7 to 8 investments. This comes from Ecclesiastes chapter 11. I don't care if it's 7 to 8 cryptos, right? As our grandmother would say, or our ancestors would say, right? Yes, Bill Gates is buying up farmland because farmers have no cash flow. They have assets, but they don't have cash flow. It says ship. We talked about the 65 ships stuck in California. Ship your grain across the sea. The King James said, cast your bread across the waters. And after many days, you shall receive a return. Invest in 7 ventures. Yes, 8. 7 and 8 are twin towers. Divine transition, the breaking down of an old to build the new. Because you don't know what disaster may come upon the land. This is one of my 11:11 code scriptures. Right? So I'm signing out. I think I've given you all plenty of information to help you survive and thrive through this great recession, a great depression. Mars says majority of top earners, 1% identify as Jewish. The Rothschilds claim to be descendants of Nimrod. So this is literally a biblical prophecy, right, as to who's on top financially. The Bible, basic instructions before leaving Earth. All of this is prophecy, what's forthcoming. So visit the website, 111millionmovement.com. Thank you so much, Sam. And remember to magnify your mind, right? Multiply your money according to Deuteronomy 1:11. Manifest with your mouth. Send out the power and life and death is in your tongue. And to everyone that gave super chat or by means of Cash App, I always say affirmation. According to Revelations 1:11, God says, I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. So that means he's infinite. So infinite spirit, infinite God, infinite powers, right? Open the way for everyone that has given into your kingdom economies for their immediate supply, an immediate supply. Let all that is theirs, their health, their wealth, their peace, positive energy creates elevation, peace. Come to them by means of divine right. It is your divine right when you give unto kingdom teaching, revelation, and understanding, right? And let it come to them and reach them right now in divine avalanches of abundance. And if it's anything else that they need to know, give them a sign, give them direction, give them instruction, and make it definite. And I always close that affirmation by saying thank you, thank you, thank you 3 times. And that everything that's theirs, even their protection, Psalms 91:11, angels are sent to guard and guide you and to protect you, will come to them with the good of all that's concerned. Meaning that I don't want you to get a big monetary blessing or payout and someone was involved in some type of accident or incident and it was just a settlement of you lost a loved one. So I always wrap it up and says, with good to all that's concerned, that their money is multiplied, right? That their peace is multiplied, their health is definitely protected during this health crisis, that you give them divine direction of what to eat, how to eat, of how to combat this, what crystals to wear, as our bodies are, we're being changed, people from carbon beings to now crystal beings. That was the whole revelation when Jesus turned water into wine. That was part of that revelation. So I'm signing out. You all have a blessed night. Please plan, prepare yourself accordingly because a hard financial winter is coming. However, it still will consist of the greatest wealth transfer that this generation has ever experienced for those who are prepared and prepared and plant into kingdom prosperity. Queen out. You all have a great, great night.